When it comes to navigating healthcare, self-advocacy is really important. This is what I'll be talking about today. What do I mean by self-advocacy? Self-advocacy literally is when you advocate for yourself. As a recipient of healthcare, you don't want to be passive. You should be actively engaged in your healthcare. So it shouldn't just be a one-way street between a healthcare practitioner with information coming towards you. You need to give them the information that helps them with diagnosis and your care management, coming up with care plans. So don't assume that your physician or nurse practitioner or your nurse or your respiratory therapist or any healthcare provider, don't assume that they know what's going on inside your head. And don't assume that they know what you're feeling. What you're feeling can be really important, both from a mental health perspective and a physical perspective. As an example, I'll share with you my experience with self-advocacy, where I didn't self-advocate enough, and I suffered because of it to some extent. So with me, it was pain management. So I was experiencing pain, I had a problem, they hadn't diagnosed it yet, but I was in good hands in terms of figuring out a diagnosis. But I wasn't in good hands when it came to pain management. So my physicians knew I was in pain, but I don't think they realized how much it was really bothering me and affecting my life. So I was in pain for about 3 to 4 weeks, which is a long time. It gets to be very exhausting. I have a lot of empathy now for people who live with chronic pain because of that experience where I didn't self-advocate enough. So they knew I was in pain, but I didn't express how that was impacting my life. So I couldn't sleep. I got very little sleep. And being sleep deprived changes the way you see the world and process information. So that wasn't helping me out a lot. And I should have reached out. I should have called my physician back, or I could have gone to a clinic, or I could have gone to an emergency room to get help with pain management. So it is something that could have been pain managed better, with perhaps more than just the usual sort of Advil and Tylenol. But I didn't ask for that, and I didn't express the impact it was having on me. So I wasn't going to work, and I wasn't sleeping, and the people around me didn't perceive how much pain I was in either. And so, they thought, oh, she's just laying on the couch, she's probably fine. But I wasn't fine, and I didn't speak up. So, I was an adult, I'm a healthcare worker, I have no excuse. Except for maybe lack of sleep and being in pain. And sometimes that's enough that you're not thinking as clearly as you normally would. So my big tip for you, especially if you're a woman, is to advocate for yourself, especially with how much pain you're in. We actually know, based on research, that women's pain is not managed as well as men's pain when it comes to healthcare. So really do make an effort to tell your healthcare practitioners that you're having pain, express how that's affecting you, and ask for pain management. That's the lesson I learned, so I'm hoping to pass this on to you. So when you're seeing your physicians or your healthcare practitioners, tell them how you're feeling. Tell them how the medical problems that you have are impacting your life. And if you're someone who is helping to look after somebody else, or they're in your family and you're involved in their care discussions, you can ask them this important open-ended question that can help them or give them the opportunity to express what's going on. You can ask them, what's bothering you the most? If you ask them, what's bothering you the most, you will be able to address their primary concern. And you can ask it at different times, on different days, and you might get a different answer. You might be surprised at their answers. So you might feel that you kind of know what's going on with them, and you know the best way to take care of them or manage their medications. And that might be true most of the time. But asking them what's bothering you the most, when you can tell that something's bothering them, could be a really good way to help them self-advocate for themselves. So that's my big self-advocacy tip. Tell people how you're feeling. Tell people what you're worried about so that they can address your main concerns. It's important to be involved in your healthcare. You don't want to just walk in like a puppet to receive the care. You want to be involved and have conversations about your care so that your care team can address what's most important to you and what's bothering you the most.